Diddy, what did you do? Now the Punisher got a book just for men? No hair coloring? Hey, yo, hit that like, because I'm about to take y'all on a hike. And if y'all 10 toes down, hit that notification bell so you can always stick around. This one gonna be crazy.
No Other Way TV.
This love and make me wanna go back, because it came from a time machine. I swear this loving is a throwback, because it came from a time machine. All the things you did to make it right.
Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. We motherfucking back. And this time, we back with a banger. This time, we taking it a different route. I like to thank everybody for tuning in. And welcome back to No Other Way TV. We on Diddy. We on Diddy. Now, this video we reacting to today is from the inside room. Shout outs to the inside room. This is someone that actually has become rich off this Diddy thing, right? And we just not talking about the females. We're talking about the male prostitutes. We're talking about the male prostitutes. So, in this one, it's gonna be a little crazy, all right? In this one, it's gonna turn up a little bit. Right? But without further ado, we gonna get in this joint. Hey, yo, y'all already know the slogan. Hit that like, because I'm about to take y'all on a hike. And if y'all 10 toes down, hit that notification bell so you can always stick around. Hey, yo, we ain't asking for no money on. Only thing we ask is for you to hit that button. And that's real talk. But without further ado, let's get into this shit.
Take one. My name is Sheree Hayes, and I was part of the Free Calls with Cassie Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs. It lasted from September of 2012 to approximately March of 2015.
Wait. Now, son must be had some Photoshop shit did to his photo for them to even call him, but don't let that shit go over your head.
Somewhere between 8 and 12 times. I was a witness in the Sean Diddy Combs trial.
Also before the jury today, a male escort known as the Punisher. He testified about his sexual encounters with both Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs.
I remember, so no, you don't get in that situation every day. My first interaction was at the Trump International Hotel, Central Park West. I run a meal review company in New York City, so on the weekends I set up these parties where ladies come out and celebrate their bachelorette parties, but we also get calls for private parties. So I just got a standard call that night where a woman called me up and said, hey, it's my birthday, and my husband says I can get some entertainment for me and my friends. I got a location, a time, and showed up with my dance bag ready to do a little striptease. And when I opened the door, I ended up opening up to a woman in a bathrobe, and it was, for me, probably the most attractive woman that I've seen in person. So it was like it was a wow moment. walking into the scenario was definitely very odd. I've done thousands of bachelorette parties, and I'm walking in thinking I'm coming into a crowd of people. But I walked into this very dimly lit room by candlelight, and what was the most odd thing was all of the furniture was covered in sheets. And she immediately explained to me the circumstances, that she was trying to set a sexy scene, that me and her were going to sit on these couches and put baby oil on each other in a suggestive way. And at some point, her husband would come out and watch. But I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, have any eye contact. We're supposed to do our best to act like he's not even there. So it was way out of my comfort zone.
So basically, you got called to do role playing. That's it. That's it. You got called to do role playing. Okay.
My initial feeling was to question, but the minute I was told what was expected, she handed me a stack of money, essentially $2,000 for what was asked of a baby oil massage. It was something I was going to give a go. Hey, look, I'm an opportunist, right? So I get a stack of money. I got this beautiful woman here. She instructed me to sit on one of those couches. In the area of the couches.
And I ain't even throwing no shade or nothing, but if y'all think, like how he's saying Cassie is so radiant in person, I need y'all to drop y'all thoughts in the comment section. All right, you heard me? Let's get it.
Bowls of warm water that were filled with bottles of baby oil. And we were to grab these bottles of baby oil and start in a suggestive way, trying to make it look sexy and exotic, to kind of put oil on ourselves, rub it in. She would do the same, and then that escalated to us kind of mutually massaging each other. Probably about 7 to 10 minutes into the initial massage, I can see from my peripheral somebody walk into the room. It was clear that he was nude, and one of the more shocking things to it was he was wearing a face covering, and he's pleasuring himself. So that was different. The interaction of the husband stayed pretty consistent. For the most part, he was across the room, giving very subtle directions. So he would walk back and forth, give cues to his wife, but those cues would be more so move the candlelight to the left, to the right, position her body a certain way, position my body a certain way, so he can kind of see visually what was going on.
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month? Well, I didn't make this kind of money selling.
If I'm being completely honest about my interactions here, I walk into these scenarios under a tremendous amount of sexual pressure. I know I'm being hired to create a scene, and I'm uncomfortable, right? So I'm over-medicating myself, whatever it takes to help me perform. I want to do a good job. I value the scenario. I value the money. So I'm walking around on hundreds of milligrams of this stuff, and I'm still struggling with performing. And so I realized that it had nothing to do with the pills at all. Anxiety is...
Okay. So they was hiring son, and he couldn't even get it off of Cassie. Did y'all hear me? They was hiring son, and he couldn't even get it off of Cassie. Let's fucking keep going, though.
Biggest factor of erectile dysfunction. So I wrote a men's self-help book on erectile dysfunction. As we get older, it's just something a lot of men go through, and it's something I experienced. I referenced this story in the book to talk about the magnitude of it and how many pills I was taking, to kind of let men know that you gotta seek a mental fix. It's not a physical problem. It is a self-help book for men. There's valuable information in there. You know, this is the book I would have needed to read when I was going through my issues. I was completely in the dark about who they were, but boy, oh boy, did I try to figure it out. This whole scenario went on 2.5 years, and I probably didn't discover who they were till probably about 12 to 15 months in. One specific time, I was invited into a large hotel suite, and to wait, they put me in a separate bedroom. And to kill time, I just decided to cut on the TV, and this specific hotel had a welcome message. It said, plain as day, the Essex House would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs. And I was like, oh, no way. It was, I grew up in Harlem. You know, Mr. Combs was like huge in my culture and my upbringing. I followed him on social media, and all this time I'm in a room with him doing these acts. And
Wait a minute. I don't know if y'all heard in the beginning, but my son said Diddy came in the room, had a fucking masquerade mask on, and started beating his fucking meat. Now he's saying he from Harlem, and he looked up to Diddy. He said he from Harlem, and he looked up to Diddy. Yo, let's keep this shit going, though.
I have no idea. Ironically, the same day I saw the TV was probably the time it escalated to a closer
Yo, I'm gonna keep it real. That clip, I'm gonna freeze frame that shit. With Cassie head, it looked crazy though. Let me don't let that shit go over your head now.
Where we started out in the living room, and then we took the sexual act to a bedroom, and so
this is Wikito. This is Wikito. For real. Hey, yo, make sure y'all hit that like. Make sure y'all share the content. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Remember, we ain't asking for no money on. Only thing we asking for y'all to do is hit the button. And that's real shit. We ain't asking for no money, and the only thing we ask for y'all to do is hit the button.
Now we're on the bed, and Mr. Combs is kind of pacing the bed opposed to the room. Same thing, giving directions and stuff like that. And in the middle of us having a sexual act, he took a stack of money similar to like a strip club, and he just slammed it on the bed in his approval. Sometime shortly after that, he switched from a veil to just a baseball cap, and he would wear that opposed to a full face covering. So at some point, they thought I figured it out.
Nah.
No offense.
At some point, nigga, I'm thinking at the end of the day, you probably been new Diddy, nigga. You probably been new Diddy, and you playing, bro. You playing, bro. But hey, let's continue.
But if you're paying more than $50 per month on home insurance,
Let's
you're
continue.
getting ripped off.
Make sure y'all hit that like. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all share the content. Let's continue. My bro got on. My bro looked like he got on a whole Jay-Z.
I really was under this impression that I was the only person they were doing this with. I believed the initial story, her birthday. And so instead of walking around actually feeling uncomfortable, I actually felt validated. Like I was, you know, Mr. Combs has his ladies, I'm sure, you know, and when Cassie wants a guy, she's gonna call me. And I had this delusion of grandeur about myself that obviously I was way off base.
Bro.
So my last interaction was March of 2015. Somewhere in the middle of the baby all play, Mr. Combs walks over and he takes like a pack of condoms and he just throws it on the couch and kind of says, "I'm ready to watch you, you know, penetration in a direct way," right? And that made me uncomfortable and I could not perform. We stopped the session, she left the room, came back in, and then the conversation was different at the end, right? The conversation would usually be, that was great, we'll see you next time.
Yo, I'm singing, right? And so son started falling in love with Cassie? Like, bro, I thought it was for the money. You were opportunist, but let's keep it going though.
And the conversation this time was, well, we appreciate your privacy and being discreet, and thank you so much. And I just read between the lines, like, oh, that didn't go too well. And the next time I ended up in any scenario with them being mentioned or involved is I'm sitting with federal investigators.
We have breaking news now involving Sean Diddy Combs and his ex-girlfriend.
Of rape, repeated abuse, and even sex trafficking.
I was first initially contacted by federal investigators spring of 2024. And I run a nightclub event, so I assumed, you know, there's always small incidents at the club and stuff. And I was like, maybe they're following up something for the club. So I was actually standoffish. I came to them and it was like, hey, can we talk to you? And we're like in the lobby, it's a bunch of people. And I'm like, we can stay here, we'll talk right here. And they were like, are you sure? I said, yeah. And they said, well, this is pertaining to Mr. Sean Combs. I was like, follow me upstairs, fellas, right behind me. Need some water? Come on up. So they laughed and we got to my apartment and they mentioned they were investigating human trafficking. And they kind of downplayed it and said, oh, we're just doing diligence. Just tell us how you were involved. And I basically let them know, hey, I was called this many times. I didn't see any violence. I didn't see anything. It was just a kind of routine scenario that, you know, fizzled out. And there was no way I thought that at some point I would end up testifying. I was probably in denial of getting on the stand to as little as 2 weeks before I testified.
So, with that being said, my son, he's saying that he ain't see no other shit. Only thing he was doing was fucking with Cassie. That's it. That's the only thing he was doing, was having a relationship with Cassie. And then when too much pressure got put on him, he couldn't hit it. So he's saying that he ain't never hit it though. He said that he ain't never ever hit it. Don't let that shit go over your head.
When you walk into a federal courtroom, the magnitude of it is extremely intimidating. I had almost like an anxiety attack. And, you know, I'm a very confident, calm, you know, guy. And walking into that moment, I was trembling. I just looked up that I was called to the stand shortly before lunch. So I went maybe in my first 10 minutes of testimony, and then we took a break. And I really worry about how my testimony would have been without that break, because I was trembling in the next room for about 15 minutes.
That boy was scared because they put the pressure on him. Let's continue this though.
A long time to compose myself. I was kind of confused, and I'm still confused, right, about my role and benefiting the prosecution. I gave a picture of it being consented. I said there was no violence and no forceful scenario. I only interacted with her, you know. Like, I always thought that this might have been something that was beneficial for the defense. After I testified and, you know, I was comfortable with it, on leaving the courtroom, I definitely had eye contact. I acknowledged him, he acknowledged me, and I was comfortable with that.
Because he ain't have nothing to say. He didn't have nothing really bad. He didn't have nothing bad to say about Diddy, but they hired him, and then Diddy didn't even hire him. Cassie hired him. So what he was gonna say bad about Diddy? Nothing.
Crazy saying it now with all the allegations of what's going on, but I was grateful to have this interaction with these levels of celebrity in such an intimate way. It was something that I felt, like I said, as uncomfortable it is, proud of. So, you know, me even sharing these moments with my very, very close friends, it was almost like bragging rights. Like, yeah, you know, I was Cassie's guy for 2.5 years. You know, I'm sure you're doing okay, but, you know, I'm that guy. Now seeing the full testimony and hearing the magnitude of what she might have been going through, I have a lot of remorse of even interacting. I always looked at it as, well, this is a fantasy of her husband's, so I didn't get any indication of anything that could have been going on that was distressful for her. And if my interaction contributed to her having a bad experience, I would, you know, just want to apologize. And I can say in criticism of myself,
yo, my son looked like he want to cry. Now, I don't know if this is some real acting shit, but my son looked like he want to cry.
I was completely in the dark, right? If that was truly her experience. So I was completely out of the loop while in the loop.
Damn, bro. Hey, yo, well, that's the conclusion for that video right there. That's the end of that. Let me know what y'all think about this video. What's your thoughts? Yo, make sure y'all like the content, y'all share it, and y'all subscribe to the channel. Real shit. You know the slogan, we ain't asking for no money on. Only thing we want y'all to do is hit the button. Like real shit. So until next video. You know I tell them to get with it to get lost, it's only right. No Other Way TV. We here to stay.